Hello, beautiful damsels. The smartest move you'll ever make is knowing what to avoid. In a world where everyone seems to be chasing something, approval, status, connections, there's a rare breed of women who understand that true power lies not in what you gain, but in what you refuse to entertain. Sigma females, the most self-assured and independent of them all, live by a code that others can't quite decipher. It's not what they say yes to that defines them. It's the things they deliberately avoid, the chaos they sidestep, and the noise they filter out. These choices aren't random. They're the key to their unshakable sense of purpose, their calm confidence. Ready to dive into what these brilliant women instinctively steer clear of, you might just rethink everything you've been taught to chase. Number 1. Following trends just to fit in. Intelligent Sigma, females don't get swept up in the whirlwind of trends because they know trends are a distraction from what really matters. Everyone around them may be chasing the latest must-have item or trying to embody the next it lifestyle. But Sigma females see through the superficiality. They understand that trends are designed to make people feel like they're always missing something, whether it's the newest fashion, the latest tech gadget, or the hottest social movement. It's all about keeping people in a cycle of consumption, constantly chasing after the next fleeting thing. But a Sigma female isn't interested in keeping up with the crowd, and she's not about to let herself be boxed in by society's ever-changing definition of what's in. While others spend their time and energy trying to stay relevant, she's invested in cultivating her own timeless identity. She's not chasing something just because everyone else is. She's focused on what feels authentic to her. It's not that she's unaware of what's trending. She knows what's happening around her, but she deliberately chooses to step away from the hype. Her sense of worth isn't tied to external validation, and she's not trying to prove anything by following the herd. She's carving her own path, knowing that anything worth having comes from within, not from some fleeting cultural wave. In the end, while trends come and go, her individuality stays rock solid. She isn't distracted by what others are running after because she's secure in what she's building for herself on her own terms. There's a certain strength in being able to step back, see the bigger picture, and not get lost in the noise of the moment. That's where her power lies, knowing that she doesn't need to follow anyone's lead but her own. Number 2. Overexplaining their boundaries. Intelligent Sigma females don't waste time over-explaining their boundaries because they know that boundaries are not up for debate. When they set a line, it's final, and they have no interest in justifying why it's there. They understand that the need to explain every little detail only arises when the other person is either trying to manipulate the situation or doesn't respect them in the first place. Instead of getting trapped in a never-ending cycle of explanations, they let their actions do the talking. If someone can't handle the boundary, that's their problem, not something the Sigma female needs to bend over backward to clarify. By standing firm without offering long-winded explanations, they send a clear message. Their decisions come from a place of deep self-awareness and self-respect. It's not about being rude or dismissive, it's about conserving their energy for things that truly matter. If they constantly had to explain themselves, it would drain them emotionally and mentally, and they've got no patience for that kind of nonsense. They know that people who truly respect them won't need a detailed rundown on why certain things are off limits. They'll get it, and more importantly, they'll respect it. It's also a way for Sigma females to filter out those who are genuinely in their corner from those who are just trying to push their buttons. The ones who respect their boundaries without needing an essay are the ones worth keeping around. The rest? They'll quickly fall by the wayside, left wondering why their attempts to pry or guilt trip didn't work. Sigma females don't play that game, and that's why they always stay one step ahead, maintaining control of their space and their peace. Number 3. Compromising self-respect for relationships. Sigma females never compromise their self-respect for the sake of any relationship, no matter how significant the person may seem. They've learned that lowering their standards just to maintain a connection isn't worth the cost. If someone can't meet them where they are, emotionally or intellectually, they won't hesitate to walk away. It's not that they don't care. It's that they care too much about themselves to settle for less than they deserve. They understand that once you give away your self-respect, it's hard to get it back, and they won't gamble with something that valuable. What sets them apart is their refusal to play the typical relationship games where one person is expected to shrink to make the other feel comfortable. Sigma females are done with sacrificing their values or bending their boundaries just to keep the peace. They know that true connections are built on mutual respect, not on one person constantly compromising for the other. If they sense that they're being asked to choose between their dignity and the relationship, the choice is already made. Their self-respect isn't up for negotiation. This mindset keeps them grounded in their own identity. They're not afraid of being alone because they know their worth isn't tied to who's standing next to them. Instead of clinging to relationships that require them to water themselves down, they walk away with their head held high. They would rather have a handful of genuine, respectful relationships than be surrounded by people who make them feel small. In the end, it's this unwavering commitment to themselves that makes them so powerful, and anyone who can't handle that, well, they're not worth her time anyway. Number 4. Participating in office politics. Sigma females steer clear of office politics because they know it's a complete waste of their time and energy. They don't care about climbing the ladder by stepping on others or getting involved in petty power struggles. For them, success is about merit, not manipulation. They refuse to play the game where people gossip, backstab, and make fake alliances just to win favor with the higher-ups. It's beneath them, and frankly, they see right through the people who rely on these tactics to get ahead. Instead, Sigma females focus on the one thing that actually matters, their work. They believe in letting their achievements do the talking, and they don't need to undercut someone else to make themselves look good. They've got a quiet confidence that makes them stand out without needing to engage in all the politics swirling around them. This doesn't mean they're unaware of what's going on. They see the backroom deals, the underhanded strategies, and the office cliques forming. But instead of getting dragged into that mess, they rise above it, keeping their distance from the drama. What's intriguing is how their refusal to engage in politics makes them even more respected. People notice when someone stays focused and refuses to be pulled into the chaos. Sigma females become the ones others look up to, not because they're playing the game, but because they've refused to play it. They remain true to themselves, and in doing so, they create their own lane. They don't need to kiss up to anyone or constantly worry about staying in someone's good graces. By staying authentic and letting their work speak for itself, they end up earning real respect, not just the temporary favor of the office power brokers. Number 5. Seeking validation through social media. Sigma females avoid seeking validation through social media because they know it's a never-ending trap that leads nowhere. While everyone else is obsessed with likes, comments, and follower counts, they've realized that true self-worth can't be measured in double taps or emojis. They're not interested in curating a highlight reel for the approval of strangers. For them, life is about living authentically, not staging moments just to get recognition from people who wouldn't matter in the real world. They see how social media can distort reality, turning life into a competition for attention. But Sigma females aren't playing that game. They understand that chasing validation online creates a dependency on external approval, which is as fleeting as the latest trend. One minute you're riding high on a wave of compliments, the next you're spiraling over a lack of engagement. Sigma females refuse to tie their emotions or self-esteem to such shallow feedback loops. Their worth doesn't hinge on the opinions of people scrolling through their feeds. Instead, they focus on building something real, something that can't be reduced to a social media metric. They're more interested in the quality of their relationships and experiences rather than performing for an audience. Their confidence comes from within, not from how many likes a post gets or how many followers they've gained. They could walk away from social media entirely and still be content because they've mastered the art of self-validation. They know who they are, and they don't need the approval of the digital world to confirm it. Number 6. Staying in stagnant friendships. Sigma females don't waste time trying to change people because they've learned a harsh truth. You can't change anyone who doesn't want to change themselves. They've seen it too many times. People stuck in toxic patterns, self-destructive habits, or negative mindsets, and no amount of advice, support, or encouragement ever makes a difference unless the person is ready to do the work. Sigma females refuse to get pulled into the exhausting cycle of trying to fix someone who isn't even willing to see the problem. It's a one-way ticket to frustration and disappointment, and they've got better things to do with their energy. They're not cold-hearted. In fact, they're deeply empathetic. But empathy doesn't mean they're going to carry someone else's baggage while neglecting their own well-being. They know that personal growth is an individual journey, and no matter how much they might care about someone, they can't force that person to evolve. Sigma females understand that people have to reach their own turning points. Trying to drag them there only ends in resentment on both sides. So instead of pouring their energy into people who resist change, Sigma females focus on themselves and those who are ready to grow. They invest their time in relationships that are built on mutual respect and a shared desire for self-improvement. If someone doesn't want to step up, that's fine. They won't waste time trying to drag them along. Sigma females know their limits, and they're not afraid to step back and let people figure things out for themselves. They aren't saviors or emotional crutches. They're strong enough to know when to let go. Number 7, engaging in useless arguments. Sigma females stay far away from the trap of people-pleasing because they understand it's a quick way to lose yourself. They've seen how trying to make everyone else happy only leads to sacrificing their own needs, desires, and peace of mind. Instead of constantly bending to fit into what others want, they prioritize their own well-being and goals. It's not that they don't care about others, but they refuse to put themselves on the back burner just to gain approval or avoid conflict. They've learned the hard way that the more you try to please everyone, the more you end up disappointing yourself. Sigma females value authenticity above all else, and people-pleasing is the opposite of that. They won't mold themselves into something they're not just to be liked or accepted. They know that no matter how hard you try, you can't make everyone happy, and trying to do so only leads to frustration and burnout. Sigma females choose to live on their terms even if it means ruffling a few feathers along the way. They're comfortable with saying no when they need to and don't feel the need to offer endless explanations for it. Their boundaries are firm because they know that protecting their energy is more important than making someone temporarily satisfied. What's powerful about this mindset is that it earns them a deeper respect. People may not always agree with them, but they respect the fact that Sigma females stand firm in who they are. They don't feel the need to water themselves down to make others comfortable. This confidence and refusal to people-please isn't arrogance. It's self-respect. Sigma females understand that if someone truly values them, they'll appreciate them for who they are, not for how much they can sacrifice to make others happy. Number 8, overcommitting to please others. Sigma females avoid following trends because they've got no interest in being just like everyone else. They don't chase the latest fashion, social media fads, or whatever lifestyle is being hyped up at the moment. Instead, they carve out their own unique path, guided by their personal values and authentic interests. Trends are fleeting, and Sigma females know that what's popular today can be forgotten tomorrow. They're not interested in living a life dictated by what society says is in right now. Following the crowd isn't their style. What's fascinating about Sigma females is that they don't reject trends out of some need to rebel or be different for the sake of it. It's simply that they've got their own vision of who they are and what they want, and it doesn't align with constantly switching gears to fit whatever's hot at the moment. They know trends often lack depth and substance, and that's not where they want to invest their time and energy. They prefer things that hold real meaning and last, rather than hopping on every new bandwagon just to feel like they belong. By doing this, they naturally stand out. While everyone else is rushing to keep up with what's new, Sigma females are confidently rooted in their own identity. Their sense of self isn't easily swayed by outside influences, and this gives them an air of quiet power. They don't need to prove they're current or trendy because their authenticity speaks louder than any passing fad. In a world that often glorifies conformity, Sigma females are a breath of fresh air, unapologetically themselves and completely comfortable with not fitting into anyone else's mold. Number 9. Adopting society's timeline for success. Sigma females steer clear of small talk because they find it a colossal waste of time. They're not interested in engaging in superficial conversations that don't lead anywhere meaningful. Small talk often revolves around topics like the weather or what's happening on TV, subjects that, while harmless, rarely provide any insight into a person's true self or foster genuine connections. For Sigma females, these exchanges feel hollow and unproductive. They crave depth and substance, and they're not willing to settle for interactions that don't offer that. They understand that small talk can be a social lubricant, helping people navigate various social situations, but they're not looking to navigate in the shallow end. They prefer to engage in conversations that challenge their thinking, spark curiosity, or reveal something significant about the person they're speaking with. This doesn't mean they're standoffish or unwilling to socialize. Rather, they're selective about how they spend their conversational time. They'll engage in small talk if it's necessary, but they quickly steer the conversation toward topics that have more substance. What's intriguing about their approach is that it often draws people in. While many are content with skimming the surface, Sigma females' readiness to dive deeper makes interactions with them more memorable and impactful. It's like a breath of fresh air in a world where small talk is often the norm. They create space for real connections by showing that they value authenticity over pleasantries. People who appreciate meaningful dialogue are naturally drawn to them, creating relationships built on mutual respect and understanding rather than mere social obligation. Number 10. Overindulging in nostalgia. Sigma females avoid engaging in unnecessary drama because they recognize it as a massive energy drain with zero benefits. They've seen how drama can consume time, create unnecessary stress, and derail focus from what truly matters. They're not interested in participating in conflicts that don't serve a constructive purpose or engaging in gossip that only fuels negativity. Instead, they focus on their goals and maintain a calm, collected demeanor that keeps them centered amid chaos. Drama often involves a lot of emotional volatility, with people feeding off tension and conflict. Sigma females, however, prefer to operate on a higher plane of emotional stability. They know that by steering clear of drama, they preserve their mental clarity and emotional well-being. They're not about to let themselves get caught up in pointless arguments or personal vendettas. To them, it's more important to stay focused on their personal growth and the relationships that genuinely enrich their lives. Their ability to remain aloof from drama often earns them respect. People see them as a steady presence in a sea of turbulence, and that can be incredibly magnetic. It's not that Sigma females are indifferent or disconnected. They simply choose to invest their energy in ways that align with their values. They understand that drama is a distraction from meaningful pursuits and interactions. By avoiding it, they protect their peace and keep their lives free from unnecessary conflict. Their commitment to staying above the fray allows them to navigate life with a sense of purpose and grace that's truly exceptional. If you found these insights into the world of intelligent Sigma females as captivating as I did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more thought-provoking content. Share this video with anyone who might appreciate these unique perspectives, and let us know what you think in the comments. Your likes and feedback help us bring even more engaging and valuable content your way. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye, and stay blessed.